Hi, hello, and welcome to the channel. I'm Lady Celine, and today we are getting back to what I believe is the final culprit for Chapter 2 of Danganronpa, another. Where we left off was, well, we formally accused Ayame Hatano of the crime. I'm thinking what's next is probably we're going to have to shoot down her arguments and hopefully finally get to that part where you put the comic together. I like that part. That's always fun. Either way, I've talked long enough. Let's get started. As Kinjo says, there was only one person, only someone who could move the situation to their advantage. That person is Hatano, you. What? Now what are you?
Maeda, did you get tired? The culprit was the one who hurt Hachino's leg. But what if Hachino's the culprit? She was aiming for her own leg? Nonsense.
I mean, I think that is what happened, though.
It would be more reliable to say that I'm the one that's gone crazy.
That is quite true.
Please don't mess with me, Maeda-kun. No matter what, Ayame-chan being the culprit is...
That's right. Kinjo doesn't stand still and say anything. Maeda seems to be losing it right now.
No, that incompetent made a very precise reasoning, don't you agree? The culprit is Ayame Hatano. She must be. I'm not exactly denying it, but I don't have a clear picture. Can you at least clarify why you believe so? It's because of a few reasons Hatano is suspect. The true culprit of this case is not strange to any of us. The reason is because Tyra pulled the ceremony of the incident, and the killer was only a light maneuver in the scene. All of our alibis were also in the dark, and there were contradictions no matter who you put as a killer. However, that's why Hatano's behavior was even more unnatural.
What are you talking about?
The killer made an alibi trick by building the fire and finishing Tamori herself, in which Tyra couldn't be the killer. Until here, everyone understands, right? Then here. Who was the first person to discover the fire? What do you think?
That was... Hatano. But there's no way to call someone a culprit with just that.
You shut up, secondhand killer. It's not just that. And even though the corpse was found, the killer installed a wire trap as if aiming at someone. And who was the first person to discover this trap?
That was also... Hatano too.
Keeping quiet, not saying anything. Let's think. At best, she made an alibi trick if someone else finds it first. There would be too many dangerous variables. But if you set a fire, you can create the best situation you want. Are you referring to the situation where the criminal himself is putting out the fire with other people? That's right. Because the original purpose of the killer's fire was to break the glass, heat it, and make someone think that a person escaped. If the killer was with other people in that situation, then they'd have their own alibi. Well, it's a crappy trick, so I didn't even doubt it from the beginning. In addition, Hatano would have had enough time to install the wire. Listening to Tyra's stories, Tamori brought all the tools. So you can use them in the arms of the dead Tamori.
Then, no, but Ayame-chan. Well, there must be something wrong with that. I mean, it could be a coincidence. Hachino's the culprit, just like that.
Why is the person who was picked up being silent, but others are noisy? Hey, why are you being so quiet? Are you exercising your right to remain silent, or do you think this is a joke? Yeah, she's just been standing there. It's just that it's so absurd that you left me speechless. I'm still standing here, and I'm being treated like a criminal. I mean, this isn't funny, Ayame-chan. You can't be the culprit. Oh, anything to object to then? Of course. You don't seem to realize it yet. I'll tell you why I can't be the killer. Is she gonna say something contradictory, perhaps? Inori's medical results, secret note, wire trap, and burn fuse line. Why can't you be the culprit? Okay, it looks like you guys are missing one thing in particular. Tamori's time of death. Do you remember it? Time of death. Was it not specified in the Monokuma file? Okay, it was, yeah. Ah, correct, 9:30. It said around that time, right?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, around 9:30 p.m. I was putting out the fire. Duh. Oh, because we know that Kazuna took a while to bleed. That's Inori's result. Okay. Tamori might have told someone to meet at 9:30 and she was stabbed in surprise. I mean, like, that itself doesn't sound likely, but I think we're going to be going with the fact that it took her a little while to die. If Tamori's death was definitely 9:30, then Hatano has an alibi. But there's something so unnatural about it. If Tamori really died at that time, the crime would be impossible for anyone. Even so, the Monokuma file doesn't tell lies. Then, let's think of the arrangement. She reminds me of what's been said before. If I think about her words, the secret behind Tamori's unnatural time of death will also be solved. Yeah, take a hit, whatever. Hey, it didn't work. It didn't work. I didn't get heart removed. So why can't you be the culprit? Okay, looks like you guys are missing one thing in particular. Tamori's time of death. Time of death. $9:30. This is right. We're not going to argue that. Huh? Isn't that weird? It couldn't have been me because I was putting out the fire. Am I wrong? Shit! Oh, fuck. If Tamori's death was definitely 9:30, then Hatano has an alibi. But there's something so unnatural about it. Oh, shit, man. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. If Tamori really died at that time, the crime would be impossible for anyone. So Tamori didn't die at 9:30? Even so, the Monokuma file doesn't tell lies. Then let's think of the arrangement. Okay, yeah, see, that took a heart. Was it not specified? It was, but we're not talking about the Monokuma file. Please, 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 please. Fuck! I'm gonna kill myself. Well, looks like Monokuma gets to do it first. Oh, I'll be back. God, okay, let's try this again. So I'm thinking maybe the medical result conflicts with the Monokuma file, so let's try that. Is it not specified? Maybe? Yeah? Yeah? No? Fuck! I still don't understand why Inori's medical result doesn't contradict the 9:30 time. Alright, so now I'm thinking maybe it's to say that because it took her so long to die, she couldn't have invited, or like no one could have come after. I don't fucking know. Let's try it. Please? Yes! Alright. Finally fucking move forward. 2 hearts. Love that for me. Hot to know, is that really so? What? Is this your opinion, Hatsuno? Because the time of death is 9:30. The culprit killed Tamori by stabbing Tamori at 9:30? Of course. Tamori's death is a stabbed neck as a reminder. It must have been an instant death at the moment. But that's not the case. Huh? Even if you argue that Hatsuno's words are true at first glance, after putting some consideration in the circumstances, at that time the killer was not already inside the switchium. Maeda's right. You have no choice but to. This is a problem you solved earlier, right? From the time her fire started to ignite, Tamori must have been stabbed by the knife. Yes, otherwise the alibi trick of breaking a window remotely would be meaningless. But then, what happened to Tamori's time of death? No matter how much you think about Tamori's death at 9:30, it makes no sense. Everyone listen carefully. From here on out, the reasoning behind this is a little mixed, meaning perhaps Tamori, before Hatsuno discovered the fire, it may have already been around 9 o'clock with a knife in her neck.
What? Super grotesque!
That's far-fetched, Maeda. Are you really thinking about it? Are you able to prove that a human being can live for 30 minutes with their throat pierced? I don't really believe it either. But I'm not saying this for no reason. There is evidence that Tamori may have survived that long. The first thing I came to think of, this was because of Inori. Thanks a lot.
Me?
That was when Inori was investigating, wasn't it? Remember what you said to me after examining Tamori's body? What should I say? Terrible amount of bleeding. Humans die when about 1/3 of the blood volume flows, but this is not about 1/3. It's amazing that even this amount of blood came out. So, okay, so yeah, she's saying that like the heart was still beating for a half hour and that's why there was so much blood loss. Should have coagulated, but it didn't. Gradually decrease after the heart stops beating. So something else produced the mass bleeding. Blood pressure strong, gush, 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 blah, 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 blood, blood, blood. Must have died in a very terrible pain, and then, yeah, it took her a while to die, unfortunately. Think about it. At around 9:30, Tamori just had a stab by the knife on her neck. If she died when we found it, the blood would not have been spread out. Of course, when we discovered it, there was still a little bleeding, but most of this started to harden. It's unnatural to say that such a deep liquid had been flowing after 9:30. Oh, okay, so because it took her a while to bleed out, it means that she couldn't have been stabbed at 9:30, because then, like, she would still be alive when the fire started? Is that kind of what we're getting at? That makes sense, but... Maeda, did you forget? Tamori's wound is not just the neck. Couldn't it have flowed out of the stomach wound? Of course it's possible, but there's another proof that says she's been alive for a long time after being stabbed by the neck. And I think that's our dying message. If Tamori died in a blow as soon as her throat was pierced, there was a sign that should never be there. Because Tamori knew who the real killer was, who killed them other than Tyra, such a marker was written by them. Another proof that Tamori... Oh, modification. Okay, so that's the last X. Is like, no, not the maid. Right? I guess Akane was right. The reason is because of the dying message. Dying message? Didn't that story end earlier? Pointing to the maid word. Yes, but when I came back to it, I could see something I didn't see before. There was a big X after the word maid. That meaning is correct, as we guessed before, not the maid. Come to think of it, was it written by Tamori? I thought Tyra wrote it as a self-act. It was the reason we found the dying message.
I mentioned this before, but after seeing the blood, I just went to the bathroom right away. I couldn't afford to think about that.
Yeah, it's not Tyra. It's likely the former idea. Tamori wrote the word maid in her own blood to let us know. If that's the case, why was there an X next to it?
It wasn't the criminal's own doing, but the reason the victim herself adds an X and writes not the maid.
I see. She tried to correct the dying message as she wrote maid because there was another person who stabbed her neck while she was writing the letters. Yes. If Tamori died immediately as soon as her throat was cut, there wouldn't be a correction to the dying message, as she would have been left out of strength to muster.
But even after being stabbed in the neck, her will still was living as much as being able to correct the message with all of her strength, while holding a knife in her throat.
Ugh. How Tamori had a cut throat and was alive, that much I don't know. But the things I said now prove that Tamori was still alive, under these conditions. Oh, she doesn't like that. Therefore, even if Tamori's time of death was 9:30, there's no evidence that you can say that you're incapable of committing the crime. When the stabbing happened earlier than 9:30, yeah.
It can't be! This is a lie! Ayame-chan? Really? This is such a ridiculous story about being alive with a stabbed neck? Ayame-chan, please say something!
It's hard to believe, but humans are creatures that sometimes achieve phenomena beyond. It happens sometimes even in terror scenes. Nothing strange at all. What? Then? Hatsuno, are you really the culprit? I don't know why Hatsuno did this. If my reasoning was wrong, it would be really weird, but there are many situations. The more I think Hatsuno is the culprit, the more it fits. Hatsuno, let me hear it from your own voice. The truth. Oh, Inori says no, she's gonna fight against it.
Wait, I can't tolerate that Hatsuno's the culprit. This is unacceptable.
Inori, I know it's hard to believe. I can't believe it either. So if you look at Hatsuno's actions, you can only say that it's so suspicious that everything goes in her favor.
She's not suspicious. There's a reason it wasn't suspicious. I'll let you know why Hatsuno's not the culprit.
I think is gonna have to be Hatsuno. I think we're settled now. Injury, flashlight, Inori's autopsy. Well, shit. I feel like we've used all these before. Her leg was hurt by the true killer. This is true. But if Hachino's the culprit, are you saying she aimed for her own leg? Wire worked for the culprit who aimed at Hachino was unfortunately caught against her will. Do you really think so? Even if you targeted an unknown person, it's meaningless if it's not found. No matter how you use a flashlight as bait. Finding one in that short of time is weird too. Okay?
That was just by chance.
Uh-oh. There's one thing. There's no point in hurting your own body. Hachino's not the culprit. Is it really coincidence that Hachino injured her leg? But if Hachino was the culprit, as Inori says... Is it really a coincidence that Hachino injured her leg? But if Hachino was the culprit, as Inori says, Hachino would aim for her own leg. The reason is... I don't really know, but aside from the reason, I'm sure the wire trap was only meant for Hachino and no one else. The evidence is the one Inori herself told me. Consider the situation where the wire trap hurt Hachino again. So I guess it's going to be Hachino's injury. Maybe saying she aimed for her own leg. The wire worked for the culprit. Hachino was unfortunately caught against her will. So I'm thinking we're gonna cut her off here in the second half with Hachino's injury. Yeah, man. I'm also just still not sure. I'm not sure exactly what we're getting at here. Oh, shit. Was I wrong? Apparently I was wrong. Shit. Maybe I am supposed to cut in. Okay. Well, we are about to die. But I made it through this one. Somehow. 50 points. Half. Half! Inori, I'm sorry, but there is another evidence that Hachino's the culprit. Inori's argument is clear. The culprit wouldn't hurt themselves, right?
Of course, isn't it? If you are a killer, you're not supposed to aim for yourself.
What if it was calculated to induce that thought?
What?
Yeah, it could just be to throw us off. Like, oh, the killer would never hurt themselves, therefore it couldn't be Hachino.
What are you talking about, Maeda? Surely you don't mean...
If you're a criminal, you can never hurt yourself. What if you were doing a self-play to deliberately draw out that thought? Otherwise, there's no gain for a killer to install the wire. They ended up murdering and finished the process, but after that, when they installed a wire and aimed at someone, it only adds suspicion. There's no benefit from it for the killer. Oh, that's true. Yeah, there's so much shit that doesn't make sense in these trials that I didn't think about the fact that the installation of the wire was pointless except to unimplicate Hachino.
Something! Maybe there was a reason to be put there, isn't there?
That's right! I'm sure there is! That's why Ayame-chan is not the culprit, and... But that's not the only thing. Even if the killer had some reason, they installed the wires to target someone. Even so, how exactly did you intend to cut the leg tendon? Our stride length and calf size are all different. Ooh. Okay. I mean, I guess I wasn't thinking that it had to be the tendon. Just any kind of leg injury.
But that's... Hey, cutting the tendon may not have been on
Ayame-chan suffered a fatal injury because of bad luck.
If that's the case, I wouldn't install the wire. You don't need to use wires while holding a risk to your future.
I was aiming at Ayame-chan from the start, so I installed the wire exactly in the position of Ayame-chan's tendon.
How do you know that? It's difficult to know the position of a tendon without prior knowledge, but you install it while calculating the trap to trip over? Oh, poor girl. Her and Ayame just keep trying to cover for each other, and it's just a whole ass mess. The only one of us who has that knowledge is a surgeon, Inori. Her own legs at the same time, who knows more about the muscles of athletes than Hatano herself? And she's got nothing to say to that.
She can't be.
Inori, Hatano was never caught in a trap because of bad luck. Because she was caught in a trap she installed, she was able to produce such a perfect tendon cut. Accident. Whew, that was pretty good. It's really her!
Why did Hatano... Well, I'm the one who saw Hatano's wound. I can't believe that she made a wound so full of evil intention.
Ayame-chan can't be the culprit. I'd rather be the culprit, even if I'm executed, only for Ayame-chan.
I can't believe it either. I wish it was all lies. I wish it was all dreams. I wish my reasoning had been turned into a mess and we could wake up from this nightmare. Is this how everything ends up? You can see it like that. Overall, I have the same opinion as Maeda, but I want to hear at least the confession from her mouth. Because I have to make sure. Well, it's too late to argue at this point. Ayame Hatano, can I take your vote of silence as your affirmation of your crime and end this already? They usually do like one last-ditch effort.
Wait, not Ayame-chan. It can't be her. After all, it was me who stabbed Tamori. I'm the one who gets executed. I'd rather do that. Ayame-chan's innocent.
Akane doesn't have to be executed.
Ayame-chan.
And, of course, not me either.
Ayame-chan.
Gonna try a last act, huh? It's not that. I just want to survive with Akane and leave this place. That's it. Your crime is already logical and there's nothing wrong. Do you think force will work? I'm not convinced. If I'm the culprit, you haven't proved it without a doubt yet. Isn't a trial supposed to be won after you convince the criminal to admit their defeat? You fucking fool. What are you gonna do? Does anyone know any evidence to satisfy this killer who talks like that? It doesn't matter if I tell you, but wouldn't it be less fun? What a slacker! It's a trial, and you have to take it seriously, I tell ya. It's all over anyway. Struggle. I have to play around while watching this futile struggle.
But there's no mystery to solve anymore, so what are you planning to do now?
Even if you say that, Ayame-chan's words assume what if. Ayame-chan is not saying they're the culprit.
Nevertheless,
it's hard.
Okay, then let's reorganize the case from the beginning. Then we may notice if something was missed. Let's go ahead! Go? Where are we going? Stay still, you big crazy idiot! Oh, ooh, are we finally getting to do the case summary? One more. The definitive proof to convince Hatano I think there's something left. If Hatano is convinced by saying this, if she's convinced, how should I react? Hatano's the culprit. Should I just accept that? Even so, I have no choice but to do it as long as I've come to this point. And then, show them the proof of her crime. Yeah, let's go ahead over the tutorial. I will probably lose immediately, and we'll have to come back. So I'm just already... Move the crosshair, push the decision key. Use the shift key to reload. Okay. Alright, let's try it. Terminating, talk shooting, poop poop, pew 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 pew. I'm not the killer. Give up already. I'm trying so hard! Yep, I thought so. Alright. Great. I'm so frustrated already. There's too many. Oh my god. Ah. Did it work? Did it work? Did I get it? Nope. I fucked it. Alright, let's try it again. Honest, I completely ran out of fuel. I had to eat. Got some food in me. And I'm gonna do this, because I am the video game girl. Ah! Man, I think I was actually close that time. Oh, I'm trying so hard. It's moving too fast. It's moving too fast. They like overlap. I don't know what I'm supposed to fucking do. Oh my god, I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. So yeah, every time I die, I'm pretty much having to spam enter for like anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes to get back to this point. I'm gonna try not saying anything and just focusing on the gameplay. I feel like I was close that time. That was like better. So I can't just reload whenever. It seems like it has to be 3 or fewer bullets. Ah! Oh god, oh god, oh god. Did I do it? Did I do it? Did I do it? Oh, I think I did it! Oh god. Left side. Can't hurt yourself. Is there any evidence? Left side thigh tendon cut. Oh, fucking finally. Fuck. Woo! Oh my god. That was intense. I was on edge the entire fucking time. Oh, fucking finally move forward. Oh my god. First, I want to ask Inori, just to be sure. Also, I still don't understand where he's going with this logic. Is it that her left side is like her non-dominant side and that's supposed to mean something?
To me?
Of course. Where did Hatano say she was injured?
Her thigh. More precisely, left side wide leg laceration caused by hamstring injury. Although...
Hey, Maeda, why are you asking this for all of a sudden while dealing with me? Are you giving up after all? Inori, that hamstring refers to a muscle that's important in keeping the leg straight, right? Where exactly is the location of that muscle?
Right. It's one of the 3 places that connects the hip with the leg. To put it simply, it's a muscle that's pretty widely distributed in the back of the leg. That's it. But what's this explanation for?
Hey, don't talk about anything that doesn't matter, Maeda. Since Ayame-chan is innocent, there's no more room for refutation anymore. No, this is important. Very important, in fact. Inori's words just had a decisive clue that Hatano is the culprit. Everyone heard what Inori said, right? Hachino's injury is on the back muscle of the left thigh. Yeah, the back. But then, why did Hachino go forward to pick up the flashlight and the back of the thigh end up hurt? Oh. Dude, that makes so much sense. I don't understand why she wouldn't trip over it like a normal way. I guess like she really had to ruin her running career even with the plan of getting out of here. Like I don't maybe she'll give us a reasoning, but that actually makes a lot of sense. I did kind of think something was weird about her position when she fell over, but I guess I thought it was just fan service. Just wrote it right off as fan service.
What? Oh, it's true. I only cared that Hatano was hurt. I didn't think it was suspicious, but it's weird when you think about it. She stumbles forward, but she got hurt on the back of her leg. That's...
Even if I fall back, my nose break, but I guess this don't matter right now. I can't think of any other reason but one. Hatano, from the very beginning, on her own volition, she was caught deliberately in the trap to inflict a wound as fatal as possible. Ooh, that's an accusation. That's heavy.
My God! Then... It means it was entirely self-inflicted? Really?
I don't know why you did that, but it may have been to pretend to be a victim and to be less suspicious, is my guess.
That can't... No, something... There's gotta be a mistake. Hatano?
I wish I was lying. Why? This is a choice. If you want to get out of the game, then just lie. Why don't we make a conclusion now? I've wasted enough time. I'm getting tired of various factors, such as the vitality of a cockroach of Taira Akane and Tamori Kizuna. Although, I believe it's all over now.
No! Something is wrong. Ayame-chan wouldn't do this. I mean that. Ayame-chan was never the type to kill.
The person who is driven as a criminal is still there. Why are you upset? You just stay put. Tyra, it's really hard to accept, but we have to accept the conclusions we've drawn. Otherwise, nothing will end, and nothing will begin. Now then, finally, let's do a final summary of all the events thus far, so that everyone can accept the answers we've presented. So everyone can choose. I'm gonna cut it there.
Yeah, this ended up going for a bit longer than I imagined, so I'm gonna break it up with the final chapter with the next one. So we'll start off with the summary, the comic book, and I think that'll give us a nice refresher of the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 fucking episodes all together, and I think we'll get to watch the execution. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you didn't, keep it to yourself. Just kidding, put it in the comments. Also, do the thing. You gotta subscribe. The subscribe thing? Yeah, you gotta do the subscribe thing. If you click subscribe, then you can see the next one. I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, and bye!